just excuse after excuse. So I went to the court. I filed for a guardianship. And then on May 26th, Nicole had texted me at 11:30 in the morning and asked me if she could come and take Michael to lunch. And I told Nicole as long as she was not driving, because she doesn't have a valid license, and had a licensed driver and they weren't under the influence, that she could take Michael to lunch. She didn't show up till after 3:00. So I tried to stop the visit, and she called the police, and the police came out, and I have the police report that they couldn't even talk to her. She was out of control. Even the officer, Toma, walked over and said, we can't even have a conversation with her. And I said, I understand. I said, and they want me to work with her. Officer Ditmore also asked me how old she was. I said 33. He said, it's time she stopped blaming you for your past and take responsibility for her.
So let me ask this. Did you appear before Judge Harrison on May 31st in her court?
I did in person, yes.
And are these things you talked about to Judge Harrison? You told her this scenario as you're indicating to me? All right.
Yeah.
Because I note on that order, and ma'am, do you have the order from the probate court? Ms. Cross, have you gotten that order from May 31st?
No, Your Honor. I haven't gotten nothing.
Do you have an address or email address where the courts can serve you?
Yes. I don't know why.
So you haven't seen it. So you are not aware of the May 31st order from Judge Harrison and Sandra Harrison from the Macomb County Probate Court that suspends your parenting time and places your son in the care of your mother?
I didn't know that until my brother-in-law told me that and gave me
Okay. Do you know, are you aware that there's a July 10th hearing before Judge Harrison?
I am
regarding the ongoing guard? Okay,
yeah.
And you're planning to appear at that? So you know about the July 10th?
I would have appeared the first one. I didn't know it was really serious.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Burcham, you appeared at the probate hearing before Judge Harrison as well. Is that correct?
I don't remember if I was at that one or not.
The man was Mr. Burcham there? Okay.
No, Your Honor.
So guys, I'm going to cut to the chase. Why? So if you were there, Mr. Burcham, I was going to say, why did the judge not consider placement with the other bio parent? And ma'am, did you guys have a dialogue about Mr. Burcham or no with Judge Harrison?
I'm sorry, I don't quite understand what you're asking me.
Yeah, so so Mr. Burcham was not there in front of Judge Harrison on May 31st. Is that correct? It was just you only?
Yes, just myself, Your Honor.
Okay, and did the judge inquire as to why she wasn't potentially picking Mr. Burcham to Michael with?
I told Judge Harrison the same thing that Mr. Burcham had told me, that he is not stable enough to have Michael in his home. He is in the process of moving, and that Mr. Burcham was okay with Michael staying in my care. And I'm assuming he'll tell you the same thing.
And Mr. Burcham, your comments, is that true, not true? What are your comments?
No, that's true.
Okay. So, but you have a motion pending for custody right now in this court.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so I filed a custody right away, emergency right away, just because I heard what was happening, and I didn't know if Grandma wanted to have him or not. I wasn't sure what was going on, but I do know, like, me and her have talked now. You know what I mean? So, like, I know what's going on now. I just didn't know, so I knew I had to get in and put something in. Okay,
so it's correct. Right now, you agree with Grandma that you feel she's the appropriate place for your son. So let me ask you, so Miss Cross, did you call CPS? So for CPS to call your mom, why do you think CPS approached your mom and contacted her to take your son? I have a
text message. The CPS worker's name is Michelle. Her name's Michelle, and she closed my case, and so did her supervisor.
So why do you think they went to your mom's house to view it for a possible placement of your child?
Because of the charges that I'm facing, but I got a very good attorney.
What are the charges that you're facing?
It's stalking, harassment, and a felonious assault.
Okay.
But I have had Michael Wade, little Michael, my son. I have had full physical custody of him for the last almost 5 years.
I got it, but obviously CPS when they're going to potentially remove a child for abuse neglect case, they look to a family for placement first. So they approached your mom. Your mom's saying she didn't call them up. Am I hearing that right? Ma'am, you didn't. They called you and said we're looking for placement of your grandson.
She's the only person that's ever called. Her and my neighbor. The
Okay,
CPS
so let
lady
me
told me.
so ask. So
I haven't been able to see my son. Like
listen,
it's not good for him.
Okay, ma'am, I'm talking. Everybody, I understand you're passionate. So, ma'am, did you call CPS on your daughter? Or you told me they contacted you and said they needed a placement of your grandson. How did that happen?
This time, yes, they contacted me on the 19th of May. It was a Friday. It was about 5 o'clock at night. I can't remember the lady's name that called me, but Kathy Thomas was the one that came May 20th. I have called CPS. It's past, Your Honor, but this was in the past where they closed the case and made me give Michael back on April the 7th. And then here we are a month and a half later again. Okay,
so tell me about that. In April, your grandson came to stay with you for a while. How did that happen?
I had him on March 20th. Apparently, there was a gentleman named Jerome Militello who's been in Michael's life for a while since birth, and he had Michael for a visit. And when he tried to take Michael back home to Nicole wouldn't answer her phone, disappeared, and he tried to bring him to me. And I said, no, you're going to take him to the police station, and I'll meet you there. We need to get on record. I'm done. And I had him from March 20th until April the 7th. On April the 6th,
I have text messages.
On April
you wouldn't
the
give him back
6th,
to me. She would not give him back to me, Your Honor. She would not. She would not give him back to me. I begged her to get my son back. I've had him for 5 years, Your Honor.
I'm listening.
My mother has left my son. My mother has left my son for years. She's only attended one of his birthday parties, this last one. Your Honor, it's only been me. His father's barely paid child support.
How many days after your son was taken to the police did you call your mom and ask for him back?
Every single day. And then she told me she was going to call the police and have me arrested for harassment if I texted her again. Every day I begged to get my son back. And she is correct. After I got out of jail and incarcerated, I had to meet up with an attorney, get a good attorney, criminal law attorney. I had to go set up my therapy and psychiatrist appointments that I already go to voluntarily. I had stuff to do. And she used those words.
So let me ask a question. And if she's calling you, so she's just supposed to be there to take possession of your son when you need him to be with her, and until you're ready to get him back?
No, Your Honor. She literally said those words to me on text message, and I still have it, where she said, I am volunteering so you can get your stuff together, your legal stuff, and I am volunteering. And then she kept saying that. And then when I would ask to see him or if him to come home, she would come up with an excuse. And I have it all on my text messages. I don't delete anything.
Okay.
And I have had Michael, my son, for the last 5 years. Just me and that gentleman, Jerome Militello, has been more of a father to my son than his real father. His real father has not had nothing to do with him. My son does not know who that man is. My mother, I appreciate her. I appreciate her taking care of my son when I was getting my stuff together, but I didn't need it to be this long, and neither did my son. It's affecting him. We're all we got, me and my son. I've had him for the last 5 years. I don't plan on giving up or stop fighting for my child. I won't.
So what court are your charges out of?
Roseville.
Okay. And what are the conditions right now of your bond?
I'm just on bond. I call every Monday, check in, and I just do what my attorney tells me.
You're not on tether. You don't have PPOs, restrictions. Obviously, you probably have restrictions about contacting the alleged victim.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who is the charges in regards to an ex or a relationship, or who?
His mother. That's why all of this is happening, because his mother, my ex's mother, put her hands on my son. I don't have to whoop Michael. I use the gentle parenting thing.
And you're not talking. Are you talking Mr. Bertram's mother or a different ex's mother?
It's why I'm all this criminal stuff in Roseville I'm facing is because of somebody I was dating this past summer. His mother, she put her hands on my son, like how she put her hands on my son, like she whooped my son. I don't even whoop my son. So I immediately got my son in as much stuff as I can because we stayed there for 29 days because my neighbor, it's been a lot of issues, but I always make sure that Michael is somewhere safe. I went there, and the second that I told her, like, you're never going to put your hands on my son again and no more of my car. I got to go in my car. She called the cops and they impounded my car. I was unaware of my license being suspended. I was told it was restricted. I couldn't drive past 10 or before 6 a.m.
Okay. So let me ask this, and I'm not trying to start a further fight here. So, ma'am, are you against your grandson going back to his mom's? What are your thoughts about what you guys are going to say? So, you guys, as a starting point, I can't undo the order right now of Judge Harrison. She's above me on the food chain. She's a judge. So right now, she entered a guardianship order, terminated, ma'am, your parenting time on a temporary basis, pending the July 10th hearing before Judge Harrison. But, ma'am, let me ask this: what is your feelings in the long run regarding? Are you going to talk to Judge and say you think your grandson is better with you? Are you open to him returning to his mom's, or do you think mom has some issues she has to confront?
And you're speaking to me, correct, Your Honor?
Yeah.
I believe that Michael's best interests right now are to stay with me, and the reason why I say that is because Jerome, I do believe that she should be able to visit Michael at one point. I do believe that. But right now, we told the CPS worker, Miss Polino, that we cannot be the people that do the visitation, that the court will have to appoint somebody, for one.
I want my son. Michael, these are two people that don't have no rights. Like, he doesn't have rights because he shook a baby almost to death. He almost shook a baby to death. This woman is just 4 years clean off of crack. Look at her history. I'm not on drugs. I just have a short
Just a second.
Please, sir, don't take my son from me and give him to these people.
Stop.
Please.
You have to listen to what I'm saying.
You have to hear me out. Please hear my voice as a single mom who has tried so hard. My boy is perfect.
So let me ask this. So why stop? Why is it okay for you? Let me ask, ma'am, stop. When I calm down, take a breath.
I cannot. I've been taking care of this child by myself. None of these two people who have no rights to my child. When I reach out for help, when I'm actually having a hard time in a correct way, that's when you should volunteer, not when I need them the most. Me and my son
have a bond. So stop. Let me ask a couple questions. Was your mom in collusion with this gentleman who took your son to the police station in April? That's her best
friend. That's how I know him. That's her best friend. She used to visit him in prison. They left all of that out.
Stop.
They left all of that out.
Stop. So they just came up with some scenario where he said, I can't get a hold of Miss Cross. I'm going to go to the police station. Come meet me and pick. So you're saying this is all a calculated conspiracy.
I know it's crazy, but
stop. Guys, if you guys can't listen to me, ma'am, and take a breath, then I'm going to figure, what is it like when you're not in a courtroom? Because if you can't take a pause and want to talk over me and everyone else, then what does that say about behavior? I may assume that, like you said, you're facing it. Stop. You got a bunch. Let me tell you what. You got a bunch of charges that aren't related to your mom or Mr. Burke.
I understand that. Clearly, something's going on, right? I never ever left my son. Never ever. Michael.
Ma'am, listen. If you're,
my mom has left.
I'm trying to make a point of the law, but you're not listening. So, why is it okay for your mom? Stop. Why is it okay for your mom to be available to help you when you got to get lawyers and stuff, this legal stuff, but now she's a crack addict, horrible person who's not good enough to have your son?
I said that.
Do you understand the contradiction there?
I do understand that, Your Honor. And can I respond? I said that I appreciated her, but at that same time, and I have all the text messages where I can go and print it out if I have to, I never wanted her to keep Michael longer than that. And whenever she did ask me, it was literally like she already knew that I had that appointment.
Why do you think she wants to take your son from you? Why do you think your mom wants you? to take your grandson.
It's a meal ticket for her. She did the same thing that she's going to do to my son to me when I was 4 or 5. And my son's father can vouch for that. She puts him on pills, gets him a social security check, and then she goes back on her drugs. I'm not doing that. I don't even vaccinate my child.
But ma'am, you can ask the CPS worker. Your mom said she didn't call CPS. They called her.
The CPS worker told me that the only people that's ever called CPS on me is my mother.
They would not tell you that.
I don't know what type of CPS lady she's talking to because I have
well, let me tell you what. If the CPS lady says, okay.
Can I see my son?
So guys,
like, this is not healthy for him or
ma'am, are you listening to me? I am not a judge.
She had to take herself off the child registry to get this happen. She had to take herself off of the registry.
So guys, ma'am, if you don't listen, I'm going to mute you guys so I can talk. Because I'm going to make my recommendation. You guys will have 21 days to object. You'll get the objection procedure along with my recommendation. Add an objection here. The Honorable Terry Lynn Dennings may uphold my order or change all. Judge Dennings is the boss of your case. Right now, you have a jurisdictional issue. You have concurrent jurisdiction between the family judge and the probate judge. Now, that's legal terms, but right now, as a referee, I don't have the power to undo a judge's order. So Judge Harrison's order right now stands until July 10th. You see her. So my advice is and I don't usually give advice, you need to appear before Judge Harrison and make your case to Judge Harrison, because right now she is in control and has exercised power over your case and issued a May 31st order that says no parenting time. You need to show in front of Judge Harrison and talk to her about that. I'm adjourning this hearing to the next week to see what Judge Harrison does, which is jurisdiction, and says, only handle it, and we're good to go. She may say, I'm upholding the guardianship and the custody to be sent over to me. So she may say, I'm going to relinquish it. Family court, you deal with it. Judge Dennings is the one who should handle it. Or she may say, I'm guardianship. I want the custody case over here. And that's going to be for her to decide on July 10th. So I'm going to adjourn this hearing to the week after July 10th to July 17th. So Judge Harrison can make a ruling of whether she's going to hear it, whether she's going to uphold the guardianship. If not, she may set a hearing on the guardianship. And then she'll decide if she wants the custody case assigned to her, so long as the guardianship is in order. Or she may confer with Judge Dennings of whether she's going to send it back. But right now, I don't have the power to undo the order of a judge. You have to talk to Judge. I can't undo the judge's order that says right now none, unless you and your mom work out some kind of time.
That's what I mean. She does that.
Listen. But right now, you guys are so hostile. It's probably not a good idea to come into contact with each other.
I don't want no law enforcement. I just want to give my son a hug, and let him know I'm not going away forever. Like, I'm going to leave him like his dad.
If she wants to let you guys talk, respectfully take it up to your mom on the phone.
She won't answer the phone, guys, and then it's harassment.
I'm gonna make my recommendation, and we'll have 21 days to object and get in front of the judge. Maybe you want to do that. Objecting is your right. I don't get mad. The judge doesn't get mad, and maybe one of you should object and get before Judge Dennings. Otherwise, you for sure need to be in front of Judge Harrison on July 10th. So my rec is stop.
Judge Witowski that did that.
You don't have a judge.
That's the paper that I got.
Guys, stop talking when I talk.
None of this makes sense.
Or I'm just gonna mute you. Guys, your former judge, Judge Mark Switowski, retired a year ago. A new judge took the bench. That is Terry Lynn Dennings. Your judge is Terry Lynn Dennings. You can Google her. You can look her up. She's a very nice lady. The paper
that Michael gave me has Matthew Switowski on it. So that was from a year ago that he gave me at 11:30 at night drunk.
Guys, your current case right now is Terry Lynn Dennings. So I don't know what happened a year ago, but your Judge Sandy Harrison is the probate judge. We will send you, this is what I'll do. If you say you don't have a copy of this order, I will send you a copy of this order dated May 31st from Sandra Harrison pursuant to probate number 2023-245548-GM. I'm going to send you, ma'am, a copy. Sir, do you have a copy of this order?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Mom, can I see Michael?
I'll send you one too. Stop, I'm talking. All right, so 1. Plaintiff's motion regarding custody is adjourned to Monday, July 17, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. for the reason that there is currently a hearing scheduled for July 10th, 2023 before the Honorable Sandra A. Harrison in the Macomb County Probate Court pursuant to case number 23-245548-GM. A May 31st, 2023 order of the probate court placed the party's minor son, Michael, age 4, is that correct, or 5?
He'll be 5
4,
next
right?
month.
Okay, age 4, in the care of maternal grandmother, Tamara Fugat. And if I said it wrong, I apologize. Fugate, I'm sorry, guys. For some reason, I'm having a hard time with that. I apologize. Fugate. And suspended parenting time with natural mother.
What? I'm not understanding.
When the probate court, the probate court talks in terms of natural mother, natural father, that's just a terminology they use for probate proceedings.
No, I heard.
And so if you look at the order, when you see the order, so when you see reasonable visitation with NF, that means natural father. When you see on the order with/NM, that's with natural mother.
Yeah, I wasn't asking about that. I was asking about the suspension of parenting time. All I want to do is see my kid. Like,
okay, ma'am, I'm telling you, a judge, I understand that you want to see your son, but a judge on May 31st, so you're going to have to make sure to appear with Judge Harrison. Is she doing that via Zoom, guys, or is that via in person? How are you guys doing that?
In person, sir.
I don't have a license, so it has to be via Zoom. I'm not going to be late.
Ma'am,
I don't.
You can't, ma'am, if you haven't, call the probate court, because I can't give you permission to, you can't tell them to do it via Zoom. Harrison, for you to be here.
Okay, I'll be there.
What city do you live?
Warren.
Okay, so Warren's not that far away to be able to find when you get here by bus or something. Just make sure. But if you want to see if judge will let you be via Zoom, you're going to have to call the probate court and ask Judge Harrison's staff. And she has a clerk. You can call there and see if they will give you any appearing in person. It's up to you to figure out. If the judge says no, then she's the boss. You got to come in person. All right. So I'm going to indicate that right now there's this order to should the guardianship be upheld by the probate court on July 10th? Judge Harrison shall decide if she wants the custody matter assigned to her, or would like it to proceed with Judge Dennings. And guys, that's just a note. I'm going to send this over to the probate court. Basically, make sure you appear up. I'm going to put both parties and the guardian were strongly advised to appear at the July 10th, 2023 hearing to express their position to Judge Harrison.
Your Honor, am I allowed to bring like my support that I have, like friends, family? Am I allowed to bring them to speak on my behalf?
You can bring people. I can't assure you that the judge will let them talk, but third parties are allowed to come to the court. The judge has a large courtroom. They can sit there. It's up to her to decide if she'll let you call witnesses or not. But you don't get in trouble if you bring people, but it's up to the judge to decide how many people can be in her courtroom and whether or not you can call them as witnesses. But if they want to come, and you can further inquire as to Judge Harrison's staff.
And I have
there and say, I want to bring people.
My mom receives SSI and SSD. She has like a lot of health issues. So I was just wondering how she's going to take care of Michael and like stuff. She's like older and she has like a lot of health issues.
Well, how old is Holt? So, ma'am, how are you, ma'am? How old are you, ma'am?
I'm 50, sir.
Yeah, she's got a lot of health issues. Like she can't breathe barely.
And you said, ma'am, you said 50?
I'm 53, sir. 11,
all right.
8,
so
6,
I get
9.
Okay, so I guess I'm old too because I'm 53 too. So I guess I'm really old as well. So
no, I didn't mean it like that. I meant like when I would reach out to my mom for help or something because she has not been helpful whatsoever. Just She's just
So she
whatsoever.
already went in. So
She's just acting like that. She's always told me I have an important
ma'am,
appointment.
you
and
can,
my mom has to do.
my advice is to tell Judge Harrison.
She smoked crack
Tell
for
Judge Harrison on
25
July
years
10th.
of her life and stole my social security checks my whole life. And that's what she does, and that's what she's going to do to my son. And why is Brian Fugate, her ex-husband, living in that home with her?
Okay.
Who's an alcoholic and a truck driver.
Take that up with Judge Harrison. Take a notepad, make sure you write down everything you want to tell her. This is for Mr. Burcham. This is for your mom. Put down on that notepad everything, all the points you want to take up to Judge Harrison and let Judge Harrison July 10th.
So basically, I have to go spend more money, hire an attorney, and sue the shit out of my mother.
You don't
like kidnapping my child and
I don't give legal advice.
Well,
all
that's
right.
what's going to
guys,
happen.
You both have 21 days to object. We're going to email you a copy of this order and the objection procedure.
Do you have the right
any
email for me?
questions on how press orders? Do you want to verify it?